Joining me to talk about the vote and what comes next is City Councilman Todd Gloria. His district includes Balboa Park. And Councilman Gloria, thanks so much for being here. Now, this City Council meeting yesterday lasted 7 hours, about 140 public comments. People got up to talk. Long time. Councilwoman Sherry Leitner was the only one that voted against it. Originally, you were against this plan, and now you're for it.
Right.
Tell us why.
Well, over the 2 years that we've studied this proposal, looking at the environmental documents, speaking to people on both sides, and really walking the site many times, it became clear to me that there really was no other viable alternative to remove cars from the heart of the park. And when you look at the benefits versus the cost of this project, I believe the benefits far outweigh the costs, and that this plan is achievable in time for the 2015 centennial celebration. That's why I supported it.
So financially, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, but let's take a look at what the park, this is going to be an artist rendition that we want to show the viewers here. Tell us what, basically, explain the plan and how it's going to change the look of the park and why you think it's needed.
Well, what we'll do is that from the Museum of Man all the way through to the Plaza de Panama will all be pedestrianized, much as it is in front of the Fleet in the Natural History Museum today. And so that really the entire length of the Prado is fully dedicated to people, not cars. That is also true of the full plaza area, and then down what we call the Esplanade, which runs around the Oregon Pavilion. And then there'll be a new over 2-acre park behind the Oregon Pavilion, which will cap a parking structure that will increase the amount of parking in the park. What we're trying to do is eliminate the pedestrian vehicle conflicts from the heart of the park and increase parking so that people can actually access the park. The plan also includes a tram system, which should hopefully improve accessibility as well.
Well, let's go back a little bit to the financial impact, because of course people are going to want to know about that. Now, philanthropist Erwin Jacobs, who is also a major supporter of KPBS, supports this plan financially. Tell us what his part of is in this, and then also how the city is going to pay for the rest of it.
Surely. The entire project from beginning to end is projected to cost about $45 million. About $14 million of that will come from a bond offered by the city that will be repaid by fees paid to park in the structure that's going to be constructed. And the balance of it, over $30 million, will come from philanthropy from the Plaza de Panama Committee, which is headed by Dr. Jacobs.
Okay, and today, just a few minutes ago, that we learned that Soho to Save Our Heritage Group, that organization, they plan on filing a lawsuit to prevent this from going forward. How will the city fight that?
Well, we will fight it. You know, this is in the best interest of our city to reclaim these places, take them away from the cars, give them back to the people. We understand that Soho is going to choose to do that. That was expected. But we will fight it because Balboa Park's worth fighting for. And, you know, when we remove cars from the Eastern Prado in front of the Fleet and the Natural History Museum, that was controversial then. We expect this to be controversial now. But the outcome shouldn't be controversial. I think every San Diegan can embrace the idea of going, you know, taking away those cars, giving it back to the people. And that's what we're going to do, and we're going to do it in time for 2015.
Yeah, and that's the centennial that's coming up. But let's talk before we do about that. Still on the money issue.
Yeah.
Some people were upset about this because you're taking away one free parking lot and replacing it with paid parking, $5 a pop for this car. And there was concern that you're relying on that to pay for this project. Is that true? And talk about that.
Well, yes, the fees generated by the parkers, the people who utilize the garage, will pay for the debt service. There's been some question about whether or not it will generate enough fees to cover the full debt service. We believe we're using very conservative figures. The figures actually presume that every freed space in the park is occupied before people will start to choose to park in the garage. And so we think that's an extremely conservative way to go about doing it. Is there some risk? Yes, there is. But, you know, these things are difficult to project. But I happen to think that Balboa Park is a magnificent attraction that 20 million plus people visit every year. And when choosing between circling for free parking or paying $5 to park, I think many will choose to pay to park. And it's important to note that this is not just to pay to park. This is going to pay to maintain the asset, to operate it, and to run the tram system. So, you know, we often ask people, do you love the park? And they say, yes, I do. And then I ask them, are you willing to make a contribution to the park? Every one of them says yes. This is one way to contribute to the park, to make sure that we maintain and operate it, and to, again, increase accessibility because of the tram system.
We have very little time, but if in a nutshell you can tell us, there is some concern that the historic status of the park, because the bridge alterations mainly, I understand, will interfere with that. So Is that at risk, and what does that mean?
That was raised as a concern. Our historic resources planner disagrees strongly, as do many others who are knowledgeable about these issues. Basically, it comes down to whether or not you think removing 70 feet of railing just east of the Cabrillo Bridge should mean that the entirety of the park is no longer historic. We don't think that's true, and in fact, we think that this project will actually improve the historicity of Balboa Park.
Okay, thank you very much, Councilman Gloria. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.